Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse has come out. We have both seen it and we have many thoughts. Overall, I really enjoyed this film. I'm glad that I saw it in the movie theater. Felicity, what do you think?
I'm surprised at how much I actually like this. And I also went out to the theater. Surprise, surprise. For those of you who follow us regularly, I swore I wasn't going to spend any money on this, but it actually happened that I did, and I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Yeah. So I guess in this video, we're going to focus on the positives because there were many. And then you could head to our channel to see a short on what we didn't like so much. Felicity, what's your overall thoughts of what you liked about this?
Well, I did like the dynamic between Miles and his family. There's obviously a lot of love there in that family. Miles is supposed to be trying to get into college at some point. So, that's how we open the movie. After we get a little bit of Spider Gwen and her life, that's one thing I definitely appreciated. I also appreciated the relationship between Gwen and Miles. They deeply care about each other. I think that they made that pretty obvious from, what we saw in the first movie and this movie. And, the multiverse aspect, I did appreciate some of the, aspects there. I actually would watch a Miguel O'Hara movie. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. They definitely captivated me with his character. But really, all of the characters, like, there's no one that I didn't really vibe with. They did really well fleshing out all of these characters, and I am interested to see more of his story in the next movie, I think. But yeah, I guess in the first bit of this movie, they focused on the family aspect, which I thought was really well done, because then that set the background for everything else that happened, and that's, what makes Miles care by the end about everything that happens. So it was really well done, even with Gwen and what happens with her dad and her family and how that sets up her arc for the rest of the story. I thought that it was really well paced and really well set up. Another thing that I really liked, a little bit off topic, but just talking about Spider Gwen and her dimension. The first thing that I said when I left this movie was that I love the art style in her dimension and the use of color. So you saw their emotions, because when they were mad, it was red, and they were when her and her dad hugged, it was blue, and it felt good and it's squishy in your heart. So I really loved that. The abstract kind of art style really stuck with me, and I was like, that is cool. It reminded me a little bit of some of the episodes of Visions, where they used art to kind of portray their emotions. So I thought that was really fun, and just really all of the art in this was really cool to see, places other than what we know with Miles Morales originally. So that was a really cool thing to see for sure.
Yeah, and also, if you are fans of all these spider people, there was Spider a man or Spider Woman in there for you. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we had the Indian Spider Man, we had the Spider Punk, we had Jessica Drew, Spider Woman, who also happened to be pregnant in this.
Oh my god, you know what? When we were in the theater, I saw this movie with my partner, and when we saw Jessica as the pregnant woman on screen, my partner turns to me and goes, "That looks like Felicity's avatar." While we
That
were in
is
the movie.
hilarious. Oh my god. So I can now say that I'm in the Spider-Verse, I guess.
Indeed, you are. I thought
That
that was
is
so
so
funny.
funny. And then we also had Peter Parker, who appeared with his kid, in the movie. Whatever Spider-Man or Spider-Woman that you can see yourself in, there was somebody for you in this movie. So that was definitely a positive thing. And the animation, which, I know that's like a positive for a lot of people. I think for this story that they're trying to tell, it's the best medium for it. I'm not sure that this story works as well in live action.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that they did it this way. I guess even Tom Holland the other day, an article came out where he said that Into the Spider-Verse is one of the best Spider-Man movie and not his own, which I thought was very interesting. But yeah, animation just allows you to tell a different kind of story. So I thought that this was really well done in that aspect for sure.
Right, and there's also been some other articles that have come out and talked about how long they've actually spent on trying to put this together. The scene where all the Spider-Men and Spider-Women were chasing after Miles, apparently that took like 4 years
Wow.
to put together. So, you could definitely appreciate the work that has gone into them trying to tell this story.
Wow, for sure. Yeah. I really appreciate about this story how it expanded upon everything from the first movie, like even just with Spot, how it's like the aftermath of the events of the first movie and why Miles wasn't included in all of the other characters' journeys. So that was just really cool to see. I feel like this was a very well done sequel, which is very difficult to do. And yeah, they did a sequel well. It was well fleshed out. The characters were really well done and likable. So I really appreciated that. Like I was like, okay, this is how you do a sequel. What do you think, Felicity?
Yeah, and actually, I've just recently saw Into the Spider-Verse, the initial movie. I would say about a month or so ago, and I was kind of surprised at how much I liked it. So, when this one came out and everybody was hyped on it, I really tried to keep my distance from it. Like I said, I ended up paying money to actually go to the theater and see this, and I really enjoyed it. So surprising.
Yeah, well, I'm happy about that for sure. I also explored just with all of the different Spider-Men, their shared stories, which is really cool. Just seeing, like they explain the canon events and how that's so important, and just like the shared trauma that every Spider person has. I thought that was an interesting aspect that you don't really get anywhere else. So, they had people to bond with, which was, like the first movie how they spider people met each other, and that was great. But this is that times 10, for better or for worse. I think that it went really well, but also it's not all sunshine and rainbows always for Miles Morales. So we'll see how that ends up in the next movie, which I'm super excited about. And with how they set this up, I think that movie is going to be really well done as well, because now we're going to get to the action and to what this movie really set up. So although this movie was a setup for the third one, I think that it stands great on its own. Even though we didn't get, a final fight scene, I still thought that it was really well done, and it left me satisfied when I left the theater. What do you think, Felicity?
There's definitely a lot of positives out of this movie. I did appreciate the nods that they gave to Tobey Spider-Man and Andrew Spider-Man. They even shouted out Doctor Strange, in this. They had a cameo of, a character from the MCU, Donald Glover, his character. If people don't remember from the Spider-Man movie, I believe it was Homecoming that he appeared in. So a lot of nice little nods and touches that I really appreciated. So I'd say in the end, I gave this movie an 8 out of 10. What about you?
Ooh. I would say probably an 8.5. I feel pretty similar, a little bit higher, I think. We do still have a few criticisms that we'll go over for sure, so be sure to check out our channel for our short on the negatives.